Hey all, this is a quick high-level demo of Click Maint CMMS. In this demo, we're going to run through the user interface and the key modules, including maintenance requests, work orders, preventative maintenance, assets, inventory and parts, and reports and KPIs. Okay, so let's just start right from the work order screen. And what I'm going to do here is just move the mobile app just out of the way for the time being. But what you're seeing here on this screen is we're actually in one of our facilities. And for this facility, these are all the open active work orders that we have to do. And so you can see a list of all the open work orders by status. You can see the priority, our category, who they're assigned to. And there's quite a few columns of information here that you can see, like due dates and where they're located and associated assets. All of this stuff is clearly represented on this one screen. If you want to customize this screen, you can pick and choose which of these columns you want to hide. Some of them you may not feel are relevant, and you can also reorder them by clicking and dragging. So you can customize and configure each of the screens. And I'm just going to quickly show you as well, we have here requests. So requests are kind of like the preamble for a work order. So many organizations would like users to submit maintenance requests that need to be approved and reviewed before they are created as work orders. That's where you'll see these here. And you can easily approve these, decline them and send a message to the requester, put them on hold and send a message to the requester. So just know that you can submit maintenance requests as well through the system. And each account will have unlimited requesters. So I'm just going to jump to work orders for this demonstration and show you how to manage your work order. So at the top of the list here, you can see here we have quite a few work orders. I'm going to go look at everything that's assigned to me. So this is all the work orders that are assigned to me. I'm John Jackson. And we're going to first start off by looking at work orders from your desktop. So if you're using a PC or a laptop and working from a terminal, you can open up your work orders and manage them straight from here. Basically, when you get a work order assigned to you, you're going to get an email notification or a push notification on your phone. And you open up the work order, and you're going to see some details here like the due date, a work order name and a deeper description here, the priority, when it was updated, is it reactive, preventive, the category, where it's located, and you also see who it's assigned to and who created it. So quite a bit of detail on this. And if you want to see, dive into the location and kind of take a deeper look in the location or the assigned asset, you can click on those links as well. But basically, for every work order, it's always best practice to add your time. So I'm going to put my time on here and say that it took us 45 minutes to complete this work order, and I'll change it to in progress. So what it's doing is it's logging the time I spent, but it's also multiplying it by my labor rate. So we're keeping track of costs as well without doing too much effort. Just know that you can add parts to the work order as well if you have inventory of parts. And then if you're also, maybe you purchase something, if you have to make a run to Home Depot or something like that, you can add details of that cost and expense and upload the receipt so it's documented as well. But for this work order, I'm just going to use this labor here, and that's pretty much all it. And I might put some comments in here just for reference. That's it. I'm going to hit complete, and that work order is now done. So I'm going to close this out here. And now we're going to start tackling some of these work orders from our mobile app. So when work orders are assigned to me, I'm also going to get a notification either by email or a push notification on my mobile phone. So right now I can see here I got a quarterly PM for a rooftop unit. So let's take care of that preventative maintenance work order that we got to do. So what's pretty cool about it is on the mobile, you can start a timer. So what this does is it automatically starts keeping track of the time that you're spending on the work order while you're working on it, so that you don't have to remember, how much time did I spend and then add that in manually. So this can keep track of it automatically. And for this work order, it's almost exactly the same as what we were looking at before. Same type of details. I can go and actually look at the asset because this one's associated with this rooftop unit. So we have a rooftop unit here, not a lot of detail associated with it, but we can see some of the work order history, and that's basically it. But let's just get back to the work. I have a checklist here. So for a lot of the preventative maintenance work orders, you're going to have some standard procedures. So you go through a checklist. Here we only have 2 items, but you may have a lot more. And on this one, I'm going to use a part. So this is a list of parts that I have in our inventory. And maybe I'm going to use one of these filters and account for that on the work order. But once I'm ready, done all the work, I'm just going to stop the timer, save my time, and change it to completed. And now that PM is done. And now the next preventative maintenance work order, the schedule is going to reset. So it's going to trigger according to the preset schedule. So the preventative maintenance work orders are just like your reactive work orders, but they're automatically triggering according to a schedule that you set. Here's another example. There's a leaky faucet. So let's pop this one open. You can see there's a little picture here. This is a reactive work order. I'm going to start my timer. Again, I'm going to look at the details here. And in this case, I might, put some comments on here. So I like to use the voice to text rather than typing. Oops. I fixed the leaky pipe, period. Everything looks great. Stop my timer, save my time, and then I'm going to change this to completed. Okay, that's now done. So one of the really cool features about Click Maint and using the mobile app is if you look at these assets, for every one of our assets, we can associate a QR code. So the software has the potential to create QR codes for each of your assets. And what you can do is you can print them off and you can append them to the asset. So if we look at this pump over here, you notice we have a QR code. So hypothetically, this QR code could be actually physically appended to the asset. And then with the mobile app, you can go ahead and scan it, and it brings up the asset details. So you can view the asset details, or you can create a work order or submit a maintenance request. There's a lot you can do here. So let's just take a look at the details. And so anything associated with this asset, you're going to see right from your mobile phone. If you want to look at the user manual or other documents, they're right here, so long as you upload them. We can also see the location. So I just jump over to the location in the mechanical room. It's a part that we use. I can see the parts that are associated with it. Very easy to access straight from your mobile phone, even the website. So what we're going to do here is just create a work order. So pump is not working. The pressure is in and out and inconsistent, period. It needs to be repaired. And then we just start filling out some of the information on the work order. So you can put as much detail as you like. I like to put in, categorize it. We're going to assign it to myself, and then maybe give it a due date. That's really all you got to do here. And then when we hit save, we're going to see that this work order is actually at the top of our list here. Yeah, there it is at the top of the list. Right there, pump is not working. Now, one thing I should show you as well is we have a calendar view as well. So, based on due dates, you can view everything on your calendar. And you can apply the same types of filters up here. Like if you want to filter everything by critical work orders or everything that's overdue or due today, you can filter it like that, or show me everything that's assigned to me. And then you can view them by week as well. And then you have the ability to reschedule them just by clicking and dragging, so long as it's, you have the permissions to reschedule. So I just wanted to point out that there is a calendar view as well. But let's just tackle this work order from our mobile phone. Okay, so it's very exactly what we were doing before. Hit our timer, change it to in progress. Again, if I want to see the details of this pump, it's very easy to access. And yeah, I can put some comments on here. I fixed the pump and everything looks good. Stop my timer, save it, and then change it to completed. Now, just like our assets, our locations, the same thing. You have the ability to create QR codes, just like this men's room here. So we have a QR code, and these can be affixed or appended just outside of the room or space. So if you have meeting rooms, next to the washroom, the cafeteria, you could put a QR code so that users of the app can go ahead and scan. And if there's ever a request that needs to be done, like a maintenance request, we can put in an easy way to submit a maintenance. The toilet's overflowing and needs to be repaired. There's water all over the floor in the men's bathroom, period. It needs to be looked at as soon as possible. Now, as a requester, I can decide to get updates by email on the status changes, but it's a really easy way to get your requests in. And you can make this request form as simple as possible, or just minimal fields, or you can have additional fields if you wanted to capture more details. And then just know you can add pictures as well. So if I wanted to take a picture from your mobile, I'm just going to grab that picture. Easy to do. So we can see we have that request right here, but I'm going to move the mobile phone out of the way. And then we're just going to go over to our requests, just so you can see what it looks like on the desktop. So that request is right here. Okay. And, I have the ability to approve it, reject it, decline it, or put it on hold. And just so we know, if anytime you want to decline a request, maybe you have a duplicate, you just type in some comments and that goes straight to the requester. So you're keeping them in the loop. I'm going to go ahead and approve this one. And this is what what was just created from the mobile phone. So, obviously it's not a bathroom, but I used I took a picture of what was on my desktop. But this is basically the request. And when we approve it, it's now going to become a work order. So now this is where you can, give it a due date. I can assign it to somebody. And then I may, add more details here. Like I can change the title. I can add more of a description. I might want to change the priority. So you can modify it as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and I've assigned it again to myself, John Jackson here. And we're going to take care of that on our mobile phone. So you can see it right at the top of my list here. There's an open work order and it's critical. This is that work order that we just created. So start the timer, put it in progress. I could put comments on here if I wanted to. I'm not going to bother doing that. Oops. But yeah, I'm just stop my timer and say I completed it. Now the time that I've been tracking is so small because we're just doing it in seconds, but hypothetically it would probably be going for like 30 minutes or so, and we'd be keeping track of that. So that was a crash course in work orders and requests, and we kind of touched on assets and locations. One thing I do want to show you real quick is the preventative maintenance templates. So I mentioned this earlier. PMs are just like creating normal work orders. You just basically create a work order, and then what you would do is set your schedule. So you just basically, if you want to have something that occurs every month, starting from today, you fill out the work order details, and this work order is going to trigger according to that schedule. So there's just going to go on autopilot. So you don't have to actually create the work orders over and over again. Once you set the schedule, it reoccurs. What you're seeing here is the PMs that we currently have in the system. And we can see here visually, as they're progressing to the next trigger date. So a lot of these, we don't have any upcoming PMs that are going to happen anytime soon. You can see how they're progressing and based on the interval of time. So this one is like 28% ready to trigger, and we can see when we're expecting to have the next PM trigger. But a lot of times what is nice here is that if you do see something that's 80 or 90%, it's actually going to change to red, and you can activate it earlier. So hypothetically speaking, if this was at 80 or 90%, we might want to tackle this earlier and get it out of the way rather than waiting for it to trigger. Maybe we have some free time to, some people that, a couple of techs that have some spare time and we want to keep them busy. They would be able to activate this earlier and take care of this preventative maintenance work order. Okay, and like it's basically the same as a reactive work order, but a lot of times with the preventative maintenance work orders, you're going to have like a checklist of procedures. That's basically it. You complete it just the same way as the other work orders. Like I said, there's a procedures checklist, and they trigger automatically according to the schedule that you set. Inventory and parts. In Click Maint, you can track non-stock and stock parts. So parts that you use to repair and maintain equipment, whether you keep them in stock, you can track non-stock parts just so you know that what parts to use. But these parts are all stock parts, so we can see the current stock levels. The red means that you need to reorder. It just means that you hit the minimum quantity. So it will let you know by email that you need to reorder and how many to reorder to get to your desired level. But you can visually see it here as well. Anything that's red needs to be reordered. Yellow's kind of that middle zone, and then green, you're in great shape. And this is just what the parts look like. You got an image of your part. You can see how many you have on hand. Are any reserved for work orders? So if someone's reserved one for a work order, you'll see that here. And then you also see the transaction history at the bottom. So this doesn't have a lot of history, but maybe we'll find another one here that has a little bit more history. So you can see when were these parts used and on what work orders. And you can also see, when you restock them. So if you ever restock your parts, you can add more here and just put in the cost of the parts and how many items you're adding. Then if you wanted to add the receipt, you can upload that. And all of that's accessible straight from the history here. So good records of your parts that you're using. And then finally, reports and KPIs. So we have this right now set to this year. So you're able to toggle this period of time that you're trying to report on. So if I want to look at, like, for example, this quarter, all of the reports are going to show me information related to this quarter. Or if I want to look at, again, this year or this month, let's just check out this year. I can see, this is basically how many work orders we created versus completed this year. And it gives you a good sense of the velocity in which you're completing work orders and tackling backlog. And then if you wanted to look at this, maybe, we see it month over month, but we can also look over it, week over week, or take a look at this month versus last month. So you have the ability to, toggle between these different reporting capabilities. Backlog by priority. This is just showing you all of your open work orders that are active that need to be completed. Okay, and you can see, the breakdown of percentage versus, reactive versus preventive, average days, or age. You get the backlog by status. We've got maintenance history by cost. So this is all, this is the total cost of all the work orders that we've done this month, and it'll break it down by labor, parts, and other costs, and give you some averages. And then you can also filter as well. So if you wanted to filter it by a particular asset, that's easily done here. So if I wanted to see air handler unit number 1, I could simply, filter it down. So there's a multitude of different queries you can run here. I could also look at, if I want to see the maintenance history by cost for the year and look at it month over month, we can see here a breakdown of the cost month over month for all the work orders that we've done. All of these reports can be exported into Excel or a PDF file. So just click on here and you can get all the data out. And there's other reports here we have as well, like, if you want to get some metrics on, work orders completed on time versus overdue. This is giving you like a daily view, which is a little bit much to look at, but, we can do week over week, month over month. And then it also breaks it down by the technician. So who it's been assigned to. So you get some of that, key performance indicators on each of the technicians and how well they're performing on getting work done. We've also got reports in here for, reactive versus reactive versus preventive. So, a lot of organizations that are switching to a CMMS for the first time are really trying to get, shift from a reactive work order approach to preventive. So here we can see this year, 57% of the work orders this year have been done that are reactive, and then 43% have been preventive. But, I might want to look at, this quarter. So we're doing much better this quarter. Now we're at 51%. Maybe last quarter, we can see how well did we do last quarter or last month. Much different. So last month it was all preventive. So it looks like we slipped a little bit. But yeah, these reports are very, very easy to run. Again, you can just access them from this dashboard right here. But that's Click Maint in a nutshell. It's kind of a crash course demonstration. But if you'd love to get a demonstration, book a live demo with us, just reach out and we'll schedule something.